Hey Facebook friends, YouTube friends, welcome to my channel, Defining Virtuosity. Here, our third video, Defining Virtuosity. What are some of the virtues? Well, since I studied as a young boy of about 5 years old, one of the first things my teachers worked on with me was getting a decent sound, playing in rhythm, and playing in tune. I believe these three elements, time, tone, and tune, are at the very heart of what must be in order if we're going to be a good exponent of string playing, in this case, violin playing. Rhythm is king. Intonation, well, if we're out of tune, it's not very listenable. And if the tone isn't good, we can't even always tell if we are out of tune or not. At least not as well as if the tone is clear. I would add that there are two other virtues extremely important that are often overlooked. From the very beginning, when we approach the actions of the left hand and of the right hand, how to hold the violin, how to stand, I think that we should put first and foremost ease. That we learn these new skills in the context of ease. The other is that we have to be able to imagine things before we hear them, whether that be a pitch, a desired stroke, a shift, anything. The idea to conceptualize something, have an internal oral concept of what we want to hear, that we can measure the result against. Another important virtue brought up in the last chapter of Ivan Galamian's book, Principles of Violin, Playing and Teaching, is that of advanced mental preparation and correlation. This is the notion that before any intended action is undertaken, first the brain has to send a clear signal to do that desired act. And then the muscles obey that mental command to execute whatever that desired action is. And all of that happens before the sound. And this is what Galamian refers to over and over again as correlation. So that will be a central virtue. Now, if we can discuss some of the more artistic virtues, they would include phrasing. Is an individual able to look at the music and develop an understanding for what a natural way of phrasing that printed music based on the slurred, the lines, etc. might be? And that leads to all of the questions of bow distribution and vibrato patterns and all of that. Vibrato itself, another virtue. We can develop different amplitudes and different speeds. These can be coordinated with the bow, parallel to whatever the bow is doing in intensity, obliquely, where the bow changes in intensity but the left hand doesn't, or vice versa, or contrarily, where the bow is doing something very energetically and the vibrato pattern is lean and relaxed, or the bow is moving very slowly and we're vibrating more intensely. So they can correlate, again, parallel, oblique, or contrary. And you'll discover an incredible number of colors when we start to do that in practice. So that's today's video on virtues. If you think of other virtues, I'd love for you to share them in the comments. And if you like this as something to share for thinking for fellow violinists, please do so. And thank you for listening. Have a great night.